Welcome back to Uncover Your Magic. Today's episode is unlike any episode I've ever had. I am interviewing two people who are twins, and on top of that, they are both psychic and have written a book about how you can change your food with the power of Reiki, called Charge Your Food, Change Your Life. Today, we are going to learn so much from these beautiful sisters. I actually had a reading from one of them a few weeks ago. I was introduced to them by my dear friend, Nancy Forsyth, who lives in Gig Harbor, Washington. She was attending a party where they were there and she met them. And she said, Ashley, you need to have these girls on your show. After my reading with Christina, we ended up talking, and oh my gosh, what a life story these girls have. They have had and all they have gone through in their lives. The interesting thing about them too is the twin aspect and what twins go through and how spiritually connected they are and how it affects their lives in every area. We will definitely go deep into that one, of course. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you about the courses I am holding every 8 weeks. One is Raising Confidence for kids ages 9 to 23, and the other one is The Magic Path for adults. In fact, my friend Nancy, who introduced me to these two women I'm about to interview, is a recent graduate of my Magic Path program. Her journey with me over the 8 weeks was astounding. She set goals, took action, and basically stopped talking about all she wanted in her life and actually made it happen. She really discovered her limiting beliefs and why things were happening and or not happening. It was amazing to hear her aha moments each day as she focused on what was triggering her and how it was a reflection of her limiting beliefs. Now she goes through life almost trigger free and has an awareness of who she truly is and how powerful she is and has always been. When we become so robotic in life and just do what we've always done, we get the same results. When you wake up like I saw her do, your entire life takes on a new meaning. Her entire energy shifted. And it's what lights me up and makes me want everyone to take this Magic Path course with me. So if you are interested in becoming aware of what is limiting you from living a fulfilling life and so much more, email me at ashleygoner@gmail.com or check out my courses on my website at ashleygoner.com. I have my testimonials on my website as well, so you can hear from the students and the results they have all had with both of my courses. Both Raising Confidence and The Magic Path are game changers for you and your kids. When I see people begin to see who they truly are and live a life on purpose with so much passion, I want the entire world to feel that way. I'd love to connect with you so you can start living a magical life full of so much love and passion. We all deserve to feel that way and see life with a lens of gratitude and have so much more clarity. So before we get this interview started, let me give you a little background on Jessica Dunnigan and Christina Manning. Jessica and Christina have been in the coaching industry for over 14 years and have helped thousands of clients over the entire globe. Word of their talent has spread so quickly, opening many doors for them in television and radio. Jessica and Christina combine years of life coaching expertise with their natural born intuitive gift. This allows for a very unique experience because they are able to guide their clients in more ways than one. The sisters knew that this was their calling when they mysteriously became ill at 18 years old. They were both enrolled in nursing school, but their illnesses derailed those plans. During their journey back to health, they started to become more aware of their gifts and how they could use them to help others. Being on the same life path, they traveled and shared the same passion to help people all around the country by touring and speaking engagements and appearing on radio.
That's cool.
So without further ado, please welcome Christina and Jessica to the show.
Hi.
Hey, so great to have you here. I was looking forward to this all day.
We're excited. We're really excited for this.
Mm-hmm. All the way coming from my hometown of, Gig Harbor, but Seattle.
Yeah.
but in the intro, I was saying, one of my dear friends, Nancy, introduced me to you guys because she met you at a party and said, "Oh my gosh, these girls have to come on your show." So it's so fun when people introduce me to people that I would never have met. And then I'm on looking at your Instagram and going, "Oh my gosh, first of all, you're absolutely gorgeous. You're twins and you share so many amazing stories." And I love to go back to the kind of where you raised, what your mom and dad did, how they parented you, and what you discovered along your path and your journey, and what got you to be, you're almost in your late 30s.
Yeah. 38.
We just had a birthday.
Yeah. Oh my God. Amazing. We had such a good birthday. It was a good birthday.
It was fun.
Okay. So back, I guess, how do you want to start? Do you want to talk about mom? I talk about dad, or
well, if I talk about dad, I'm not gonna have much to say. He wasn't really around, but we could just start from like our earliest memories. We grew up in a bad childhood, so we didn't really have love. And our mom wasn't around much. She was really most focused on herself and guys. I'm not trying to knock her or anything like that. Just I'm being true to our childhood. It was just very rough. We didn't have a loving, stable home. We just didn't have that. We were moved around all the time. We were moving all the time. My mom had new guys in all the time, different guys that, call this guy dad, call this guy dad. So we didn't know what stable was, really. Yeah. We didn't know what real healthy love was supposed to look like.
Right.
Whether that's the relationship a mother and a daughter has, or, watching your mother in a relationship with a man. We just didn't know what healthy, real love was supposed to feel like. Mm-hmm. So we turned to each other, through our childhood, to lean on each other, get us through that, and really, whenever there was moments where I'm like, this doesn't seem right. Cause you're young, you don't know, you're growing and learning. But I just remember even at a young age at 9 or 10 going, this isn't normal. My mom's not making a smart move right now. What is she doing? Why is she around these type of people? Why is she saying this to me? So I had her to turn to and say, no, to kind of talk through it. This isn't, you know what I mean? We had each other to really connect and say that we're not going to live this kind of life. Mm-hmm. We're going to be different,
Just to even have each other for that. Talk about, knowing how close you are now, going through what you went through, and what you guys saw and, worked your way through together. Mm-hmm. Even though you're twins, that's such a bond, but going through that, I think even makes that so much stronger. Don't you think?
Yeah, I definitely feel like, it did. It was very, we went through a lot of childhood trauma together, and so when you have nobody to turn to but your sister, and you're experiencing that with somebody, we were experiencing it together. And so right from the beginning of our lives, we thought, okay, we can get through anything. If we can get through this, we can get through anything. And it's actually interesting because that was just the start of our journey, on what we had to go through. Because as soon as we turned 18, when we finally were able to get a sense of freedom, we're turning 18. We don't have to we get to choose our own life. Yeah. Right. We finally felt yes, we get to choose our own life. We actually both became mysteriously ill. Mm-hmm. And it was something where we thought, wow, this is really weird, because we feel like we just suffered enough. Mm-hmm. This is our freedom. And now all of a sudden we don't get control still. Yeah. Because we actually were enrolled in nursing school. And then she got really sick and was bedridden. Mm-hmm. And then 6 months later, and I didn't know what to do. I'm I was driving her, here I am, I'm 18 years old. My mom doesn't even think she's sick. My mom's like, whatever. She didn't even care. So here I am, 18 years old, in a car that barely runs. I don't even have gas money. I'm driving her to Portland to try to get her to the children's hospitals to try to figure out what's wrong with her. And they're like, well, where are your parents? Yeah, because I think at that time we were 17, because we moved out of our house at 17. We were still seniors in high school, and I was supposed to graduate in 3 months, and that's when I became sick. Mm-hmm. So I was driving her to all this doctor's appointments, and then all of a sudden I started getting the same symptoms. I'm like, hey, do you have these weird fluids that come up your neck? Do you feel like you're going to pass out? And the next thing you know, and another symptom was we would vomit 10 times a day. It was, I just remember having to it was hard. Take your sickest flu day and then get hit by a Mack truck. And that was our everyday life for 2 years. We were bedridden. Yeah. There was a point in my life for about 2 years. I think my days only consisted of 6 to 8 hours. Mm-hmm. I was just slept. Mm-hmm. We just slept. And then we gained a bunch of weight.
No, wait. What kind of sick was it? What was it?
Well, the doctors didn't know. We had all of our tests were abnormal, our hormones were abnormal. We stopped getting our like menstrual cycles, but doctors were like, honestly, we don't know. And they would just send us to doctor to doctor, specialist to specialist. We even moved like to a different state to try to get answers for years. And we were overweight. I was 300 pounds. We were both, I mean, our whole life, we went from having control to no control. But let me tell you something, that's when our spiritual journey started. That's why we're where we are today. That's why we have the knowledge and the help that we help people. It was because of that starting moment. Yeah. The universe wanted to put us on a path that we probably wouldn't have gone on, to be honest, at that time. We wanted to go be nurses. We were trying to fight. Like I started getting visions in high school, but I thought it was weird. And I just wanted to be normal. I didn't want to be that weird psychic girl. So I just would ignore them. And I feel like the universe was like, sorry, girls, but that's not the path you're meant to take. So I'm going to have to put you on a complete spiritual journey, teach you, like show you what suffering really is in its purest form and give you no choice but humble you, derail you.
But the thing about it is that you both got that sickness. Like, is it a virus? Are you getting it from her? Like,
no, we're the same DNA. We're the same DNA. It was actually genetic. We just found out what it was. We had a mutated gene. 38 years old. Actually, it was a year ago we found out. Ingrid Carver, a specialist here, but we have a mutated gene that was really messing up with our insulin. And so our insulin, like we weren't diabetic, we were the opposite of it, which our body produced too much. And so we were having all these low sugars and it was messing up our hormones and everything was just like, you throw one thing off on your body. And you throw it all off. Yeah. So
and you gained all that weight. You're huge, 300 pounds.
300 pounds in a year. It took me a year. I gained pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Together. So together we're like, wow, we're overweight together. Then we lost the weight together. But honestly, looking back, it was such a blessing because it was so nice to have somebody who understood what I was going through. Because when I got sick before her, I felt very alone because she was like, this is not the Christina I know. I didn't know what to do. What is going on? Normally you're full of energy. You want to go be the life of the party. Now you're trying to avoid the parties. And she watched me, just suffer. And it was like, wow, we went through that together and we understood each other. We got each other through that, so it's just weird how we went through, how we just continue to be put in these situations where we get each other through it.
Well, and then we want to probably tell you how we got healed and how we started feeling better and losing the weight.
Yeah.
Wait, it's hard to hear you, Jessica.
Oh, sorry. And then, so you probably want to know what made us lose the weight and everything, like what happened, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so it was our birthday and we were at every birthday, those years, we'd be in the emergency room together, sick. Well, it was like 2 a.m. We came home from the emergency room. We're like so tired. And I remember just laying there saying, God, just like, I don't even want to live anymore. Just take me. I can't suffer like this anymore. And all of a sudden on the TV screen, this show popped up called The Secret. It was a new movie and it was about manifesting. And all of a sudden I wasn't focused on all my suffering, but I was focused on this show. And we watched it over and over and over and over again. And we started doing the law of attraction. We started posting things all over our house, the toilet, where I would like, everything was, I'm healthy, we're skinny, we're all these things. And in a whole entire year, we lost the weight. We started feeling better. We started walking, getting better. We got out of our slump and our whole entire life changed.
Oh, I love it. So I've had a lot of people from The Secret on the show.
Really?
That were on the movie. Yeah. Yes. So I'm all about that. And that was, I had learned, I was studying the law of attraction before The Secret. So when I watched it, I was like, oh, finally, I get it. Yeah. So that was a change. I can remember I had Paige, she's 15 now. And it was right when that came out, like in 2000, she was born in 2006. And I was sitting there nursing and I would just read the book and then I'd watch the movie and I would start doing the same thing, putting little cards everywhere and making my vision boards and, being a first time mom, kind of a new little thing with your kid. And now I teach kids law of attraction. So that's my course through raising confidence. And
that's so cool.
So that book, and that's a lot of people, even the people that weren't on the show, that's a lot of it links to that book or to that movie of their transformation, and I didn't know that. That is so cool. But when you were in high school, you started learning that you do have intuitive gifts because your mom does too, right?
Yes. Yep.
So it's like this genetic thing. But you didn't know it until you started like getting these visions of trees falling. Or what was that story, Christina, you told me?
Yeah. Well, so in high school, I started getting really vivid visions. And I would see the vision, but I'd go, oh my gosh, that's so weird. And I would just ignore it. And then the actual event would occur about, I would say within 2 to 5 minutes after the vision. And I go, whoa, okay, I got to pay attention. I got to pay attention. And it would come in like clusters too. You know, it would just like, it's almost like it was like my soul was awakening. And so it'd come in clusters, but I didn't really take it serious until one of my friends had passed away from a vision that I had seen. I saw a vision of a tree falling, and I warned all my friends. And gosh, it was maybe a week later. It
wasn't long. Yeah.
I just remember saying, be careful around trees, you guys. I get this feeling a tree's going to fall on somebody I know. Just be really careful.
So random, you know?
Yeah. And that's when I said, oh, you know what? I've got to pay attention. Like this is something that I can't just ignore. And I was just I'd be on the school bus giving predictions like, oh, you're going to go on a date with this boy and you're going to lose your virginity with this boy. Everything was right. You're going to marry this boy and you're going to have, and like, I'm looking back and like, oh my gosh, like every single thing I said, you know, she did marry that guy and they have 3 kids, just like I told her on the school bus. And you know, it's like, we didn't, in high school, we were like more into like being popular and fun. And that was just a weird thing that we were not going to be any part of. You know what I mean? Like that is just, oh my gosh, you know, and then all these events came. Yeah. All the synchronicities, you know, the synchronicities that guide you to where you're supposed to be started happening. It started chasing us. You know what I mean? When you're meant and called for something and you're destined to do something, the universe will chase you and pound it into you, you know,
or make you super sick and make you gain all that weight and, you know, realize, put the little movie on and show like, this is where you're going now do this. This is what your story is to help others and teach others what you learned and you got out of.
Yes.
So you're done now. You figured out the secret. You're using the law of attraction. You got skinny. You are all healthy. And now what? Now you're like, okay, I have these intuitive abilities. Am I going to start helping my friends? Where does it go from there?
I mean, we turned it into a business, but we've been doing intuitive readings for over 15 years. I mean, we help, all of our friends come to us, obviously, whenever they have stuff going on. And I mean, we've turned it into a way that we use our gift now to help people. So we wrote a book to teach.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's what I want to talk about, because that was so cool. And I said it in the intro because I was saying, you know, we talk about Reiki on this show a lot. People, you know, a lot of people that talk about that, but never about your food, never about changing your energy, right? Change the energy, change your life, change your, right?
Charge your food.
Charge your food.
Yes.
Charge your food.
I do too. It's my book.
Change your life.
Yeah.
So explain that.
Well, everything's energy. It's all frequency. Everything's a vibration. Everything is a frequency. And it's not just about the frequencies on the outside, but it's also about the frequencies that you put into your body. And food, actually, they've done tests on food. It actually has hertz. It has frequent, you know, vibrations in your food. So, and Reiki is obviously putting energy into something. So you hire and you put more energy into what you consume in your body.
Yeah. And we started charging our food when we were going through our health issues. When we started learning more and diving, like our spirit became thirsty for more. Obviously, once we watched The Secret, something in our spirits were wanting more. And so we just researched everything. Then we started learning about Reiki, and we thought, wow, okay, what can we do for our own health to improve our health, to make ourselves, you know, happier? Because right now, obviously, they're under stress. And so we started using Reiki to charge our food. And then we would then, of course, put that in our bodies. And we started seeing our health improve, our weight.
And we would focus on certain things. So like we had this soup that we would make. It was a vegetable soup. So you talk about every good nutrient, high vibe in food we put in a pot. It was good. We still make it. And then we would use our twin energy together, and we would just put like good health. We feel better. We are so healthy. We have energy. And I mean, we ran a 12-mile Tough Mudder. And that was and that time we literally were like, we can't even walk to the store. We can't even get out of bed. We would have never thought we could do those things, but every day we put energy into what we ate. We put the energy into our thoughts. We shifted our mind. And we used the power of our mind. Yeah. That's what we did.
And the power of our energy. And the power of people don't realize energy, it's a resource that is at everybody's disposal. They just don't know how to use it. And so they don't realize like energy is it's limitless. I mean, you can really create the life that you want, anything you want. There's no limits, but that's the problem, is we put limits on ourselves.
Put limits. We don't think big enough. We don't, if we can't grasp it, how can it be a reality? Well, you start to think it and it becomes your reality. The universe will make it into your reality.
Right.
So yeah, we charge our food, and it's amazing what it's done.
Yeah.
So when you say that you charge it, so you're putting your hands over the soup or whatever, and you're just thinking thoughts, or are you both talking to it?
Yeah, I mean, both. You can talk out loud or you can speak it in your mind because it's energy, right? So it's an invisible language of energy. And it's really about transferring that energy from your hands. Because in Reiki, your hands are the source of how you transfer energy.
Right. So you're just putting like what, more nutrition, or it's going to go through my cells
love,
and
joy, happiness, positivity, focus on gratitude, grateful, we're blessed, I'm healthy, I'm happy. They've actually done studies where they put water that they have put positive words into, just words and thoughts, energy into, put them under a microscope, and they have different crystals that glisten and are beautiful. And then they put the same water with negative words, and it's like just, it's mudded and it's not. So vibrations, just with your words and thoughts and feelings, right? It's the feelings of positive energy. Love, love is the highest energy there is. So if you ever want to blast the highest form of energy, just focus on love.
Right. Oh, I love that. And I was listening to something, you were talking about rice, I think, in one of your, like, where someone put a bowl of rice and talked to it, and the other one was positive, and then the other was negative, and same area of the room, but the one that had positive words were completely fine, and the other one was moldy, the negative. And, I've heard that with plants and,
I was going to say that.
Yeah. And I've heard the thing with the water, with the little like snowflakes that they change, when you say positive and negative, and we're almost all water, and you think of our bodies and the things that we say to ourselves, like, what are you telling yourself with the, like, really choose your thoughts wisely. Like, how do you want your life to be? How do you want your body to look? But I love, and didn't you do something with the scale too, Christina, when you were, when you and I were talking?
Yeah. I have all these cool little tricks on how to lose weight, because I did it all with when we lost weight. Yeah, so when we get on the scale, we look at a number, and we're usually, if we're overweight, we're disappointed. So what we're putting out to the universe is disappointment. I'm fat, right? So what I did is I wrote my goal weight and I taped it over my real weight. And every time I got on the scale, I didn't even look at the real number. I looked at the goal weight and I visualized and celebrated as if that was my real weight. So I put out that vibration of, oh my gosh, I'm 130, 135 was my magic number. I like, personally, for my height and everything, I like to be about 135. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm 135, I'm 135. And so I would celebrate it. And I just did that. And next thing you know, I take, that piece of paper off, and that's my real weight.
I love that.
And you gotta do the work though. You can't just sit around and eat, chips and ice cream and be like, I'm gonna be 135 because I put it on a scale. You gotta do the work. You gotta really want it. Yeah, you gotta put the vibration that actually put in them. Sometimes the universe will guide and provide. Like, you may think, I don't know how I'm going to get there. Like, I love to snack, and all of a sudden, I don't feel like snacking anymore. It's just like weird how the universe will create. Guide and provide. Yeah.
Right.
But I will say this, out of all my life journeys, being bedridden, going to numerous doctors, not even taking so many different pills, everything, the number one healer of all time is love. It really is. Putting myself around loving people, hugs, people, words of affirmation, softness of the energy of love was the biggest healer for me, for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really was.
And you love each other so much.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's get into relationships. Speaking of love, because that really is fascinating. When I was watching the show yesterday, we'll get into the Extreme Sisters, the TLC show, in a minute. But after watching that yesterday, and I was listening to, I think it's Jessica's husband that came on, right?
Mike. Yep, Mike.
Okay. And, I think my husband, like I have two, there's three girls, and, we talk all the time, and, we have our little secrets and our, we know, because we grew up together, that's who we can talk to. We've done that our whole life. So it's just natural. So I get that. But when you hear him talk about like what you guys do, like you live right next to each other. So explain to my listeners, because everyone listen, because this is so, sisters are one thing, but when you hear the twins story of you guys, It's like, it takes it to I don't even know what level, but it goes so far. It is so amazing and just fascinating because what it is it's really true. It's not like you're faking it or it's just, you have such a solid bond.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's so normal,
I don't think any of the sisters on Extreme Sisters were weird. I think they're normal. Yeah. We lived, when we were married, we got married at the same time, and we had our houses in the same, right next to each other, about 50 feet. I mean, I could step outside and do a cartwheel into her driveway. And our houses were literally the same layout, the same rooms in the same spot, the same bathroom. Everything was the exact same, except our hardwood floor was a different color. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so you both get married at the same time and meet the same kind of guy? And do you have to approve of each other?
They weren't the same kind of guy.
No, we definitely have different tastes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we necessarily need to approve or not. I think we just
I mean, I think we should. I think that should be a sister law.
I think we have different takes on it. My opinion is I'm going to support whatever decision she makes, because I know it's her journey to have. And so I just feel like it would be, if she asked for my opinion, I would gladly give it to her, but I just don't feel like I should be making her decisions for her, Right.
No. I don't agree in that either. I just definitely I have a good, sister, I think it's good to get your sister's
opinion.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I would have given her, if I would have given you my opinion about Mike per se, would it have changed your path? I don't think it would have. I think you would have stayed with him.
You're right.
Right.
We could have this argument all day. I know. I get it, but yeah, so you're right. I see what she's saying. I do agree with her.
So you get married at the same time and you live next door neighbors.
Get pregnant at the same time.
Yeah. You get pregnant at the same time. Is this all okay, we're going to talk every day and now we're going to start trying to get pregnant?
None of those plans.
Yeah, that's so weird crazy about our lives. We have lived parallel lives unplanned. Like our sickness, everything, having the same childhood. And then every journey we've been on has been the same.
Yes.
We met the men we were going to marry at the same time. We had our pregnancies at the same time, all unplanned. We even had our divorces at the same time.
And it's interesting, none of it, we didn't even talk about those things. It's just if anything, I'm I'm pregnant. Oh my God, how cool. And then, a month later, oh my God, I'm pregnant. It was never, hey, let's plan it. Now, I mean, but recently though, we did have a conversation very recent where we thought, oh my gosh, if we both want more kids, can we plan this and have our pregnancies at the same time? Because we've been through it together. I don't want to do it alone, So now she wants to plan it, but watch, it won't be planned this time. And then you'll have a baby and then I won't, you know what I'm saying? But who knows? We got to keep that streak going.
I know.
So are the husbands friendly? Are they best friends too?
They weren't best friends, but they were friendly. I mean,
everybody got along. Everybody was so close. We still all get along because I'm super close to my ex-husband. I'm still close to her ex-husband, Mike. I mean, we all get along.
Okay. So describe what I saw last night with Mike and how that what the husband's experience with twin sisters like you two.
Oh, like how we go in our own little bubble and we don't leave it, or what? I mean, it takes a special guy to date us. I will say that, because we are so close. They can't be jealous. They can't be intimidated by how close we are. They have to know that we have sister time. We have to do our own thing. And if I'm going to tell her everything. We're trying to get better about it. It's been a little different, but I share everything with her. So I want to tell her every little thing about my whole life, my whole marriage.
Yeah. I mean, I
everything, all his secrets.
Huh.
I know a lot about Mike.
And we know each other's ex-husbands, their dirty, darkest secrets. Shared them.
Well, and that was hard for my husband at the time.
Yeah.
He had several conversations with me where he was like, it's really hard to feel connected to you because I don't feel like I'm your number one. How can we have he in his world, because he has a brother, he didn't have, but his brother lives in London, he's used to having a normal sibling relationship. So to him, he's like, why do you have to tell your sister everything, or every time we have a fight, or every time we're going through something? We need to keep that private between us, and I didn't understand it. To me, it was like, what? I don't get it.
I know. And now I don't know any of John's secrets. I know nothing. I don't know what they fight about. I don't know. I only use my intuition.
Oh, funny. You mean her new boyfriend?
Yes, her new boyfriend, John. it's very different. I don't know anything. She doesn't tell me anything. I don't go around. I don't hang around.
Well, I've learned from my mistakes, and I actually have been on my own spiritual journey to be quite frank, it started when COVID happened, when I was in isolation. And for the first time in my life, I started to talk to myself and have a relationship with myself. I wasn't used to that. I was always used to, everything was about me and my sister. And that's when I thought, okay, wait a minute. What are things I can like change about myself or grow or learn through? And so, yeah, I am approaching my relationship with John much differently, because I don't want the same, like, it doesn't, and not, to me, it feels like it's a good thing. It's growth. I don't want the same problems I had in my first marriage. Right. So I'm like, wait a minute, maybe there is something to say and to learn about this, like what my first husband said, where, hey, let's keep some of our stuff between us and let's have our own little unity,
Right. Huh.
So we'll see. I mean, it's working so far. I mean, for me and John anyway, it's not really working for us. I don't know. Like my intuition, I mean, that's the thing about being intuitive too. It's like, I already feel stuff, I already know stuff, but I agree here. It's like, I agree with you, like to have, because I'm going to start dating soon. I've been single so long. It's like, whether Mike and I get back together or I date, I do agree with that. Okay. I do agree that we should not be telling each other, because I don't want my secrets to be out to people too. Okay. So I agree with that. But I still do think that I want us to all be close. Like, I want to be hanging out all the time and like around, not all the time, but like, I want to feel welcome all the time and like all close and spending time together. I don't like the gap of that, like, I think our guys should know how close we are, because no matter what, at the end of the day, we're going to be super close. That's just who we are.
Right. So with, it cracks me up, but when you think of like, when they're with you, it's like, they're like, not marrying your sister, but in a way it's like we're a package deal kind of.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Mike said it. He said, I married Jessica and Christina,
Right. Yeah, there were times where he used to have both of us like yelling at him about something. Like, it wasn't even my issue to be a part of, and he had to take both of us on. And I'm like, now looking back, I'm like, gosh, that probably wasn't fair to him.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh, that's a tough job to sign up for. Like, okay, so tell me how you're going to manifest, or how did you manifest John? Now we know how to manifest weight loss. Now, how do we manifest a relationship?
Well, first you have to be very clear and concise on what you want. And it can't just be one thing you want. Because I realized I was manifesting my failures just as much as I was manifesting my new relationships through it, with my fears and not being clear and concise that, wait a minute, I want this to be a lifelong partner. I want this to be all of the moving parts, not just this one specific thing. So you have to be clear and concise, and you have to really believe you deserve it. You can't have those limiting beliefs of like, well, I want love, but you know what, there's nobody in this area. Because, some people put those limiting beliefs on themselves. Like, oh, I want love, but I'm too old. Or I want love, but I'm not attractive enough.
All the guys online are they're all dirty and they're gross. And
you have to just not, it's like you have to put the order in to the universe and not worry about how it's going to get there. Just trust and believe it is.
How do you make the order? Are you writing it out? Are you thinking about it? Are you visualizing it? Are you becoming that person with this partner that you don't know yet?
I do all of it. I wrote a list of everything I want. But I wrote a list on how I want to feel, right? I want it to be a trustworthy relationship. I want to feel safe and secure. I want to feel the butterflies. And I also lit a magic love candle. And I know that sounds so weird to some people, but I made my own candle, and I put the belief and the power that when I lit this candle, it was my intention to draw my soulmate in. And I believed it to be so powerful that I didn't even light it until I felt ready, because I knew the minute I light this candle, he's coming. I'm not even joking. I lit the candle and met John 3 days later.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And can I tell you what I'm doing in Manifest Love?
Please.
I'm doing something a little different. Okay. So how my take is this, it's all about vibrations and hiring your vibration. So I've been single, working on how do I hire my vibration? And I write a list of everything that I want in a guy. And then I become those things. Loving. Okay, well, I need to become more loving. Funny. Okay, I become all those things because I want to attract that same level of vibration to me. So I am becoming what I want to attract. That's what I love
it. So like to be funny, like you're just going to try to be more humorous in life and make things.
Just not care. Yeah, be like, who cares? If I think it, be it. Don't have a filter. Say, be myself, because I really want to attract that. That's huge to me. I really want to attract a wholesome, real. I want real love. I want a real friends. I want real people. Like I want that. So I'm that. I'm becoming that, so I can attract that same vibration. You know what I mean?
Yes. So are you taking action? Are you getting on dating apps? Are you?
I'm making myself. Yeah. And like
you got to swipe and you got to, it's just, it's tedious. I'm not a good dater.
Mm-hmm.
Not. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't find going on dates that fun, but I'm trying to change that.
I know. I feel like I've kind of been helping you see it a little differently.
She's better at it than I am. You're more into that stuff. To me, I'm like, I don't, but I've had some fun dates, so I don't want to put that into my story.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's stop talking.
Yep. I can't talk like that. I know, that's why I'm saying I'm canceling those thoughts, Jessica. Cancel those thoughts.
And that's what I was trying to help her with too, because she was always like saying like, oh, I hate dating. I'm like, you got to approach it differently. You got to see it differently. You got to see it as an experience and go into it saying, oh, what can this teach me about myself?
Right.
What can this date or meeting this new person teach me about myself?
Because I'm very empathic. So sometimes if I'm going on certain dates, it's like I'm absorbing a lot. So what I tell myself is, Jessica, you go to observe, you don't go to absorb. Observe, don't absorb. Good. So that's what I do. I go into situations and I just observe it and I don't put myself so involved in it. What's the expectation? What's this? What's that? Just observe. Just have a good time.
I love that. So with Nancy, our mutual friend that introduced us, so she was in my last 8-week course together, and her beginning thing was what she wanted to manifest was, because you did a reading with her, a relationship, her soulmate, her life partner, everything. And so she kept doing that. I'm like, we are in week 2. And I'm like, what are you doing to do it? It's like, I have to lose weight. And I'm like, okay, well, you're not going to wait until everything you think is all lined up and then you're going to find this guy. So I started saying, you got to get on the dating sites. I don't care and it's observing. It's just taking the action. It's showing the universe that this is an intention. This is what you're wanting to create. So she started doing it. She went to coffee and had these conversations. She's like, but when she doesn't have the judgment, like we were just like Jessica was saying, like we just go and you're observing, and you're like this. I always say, like, just be a little bird on your shoulder and just sit there and watch. What does it feel like? You don't have to sit there and go, oh, great. Oh, another time, but what am I going to learn from this? And what is it going to teach me? And what am I taking from this? He doesn't have to be my husband, but, like taking the action to show the universe that I'm serious and I'm making an effort. It's not just everything's handed and this Prince, Charming's coming to my front door. And I said, so now it's fun. Like it doesn't, I think plus at our age, I mean, I'm 52 and she's a year older than me, but I mean, you get to a place where I don't care what people think about me, it's just more fun to go and it's life. It's experiencing like a new person. And what is maybe he has a friend or, there's no coincidences in life. There's something for you in this moment, but to live your life like that, especially when you're trying to manifest a partner and make it fun.
Light. It's all about light. The universe reacts better to light. You know what I mean? It just does. If you're heavy and you're just like resistant, the universe gives you more heaviness and gives you more things to resist. Be light, and the universe will give you the light. The light stuff.
And honestly, for Nancy, you got to open the doors. Yeah, it's basically what I tell my clients is opening doors for the universe to put the man through. It doesn't have to be online, but at least you open that door in case that's the way it comes.
Yeah.
So,
right. I know. And even like she would be out at Orange Theory working out or at the grocery store she's remodeling. I'm like, when you're at Home Depot or wherever, be open. It doesn't mean that there's going to be who knows? Get Orange Theory, get eye contact, look at people, smile, be like, have your energy open. And so we worked on this whole thing and now she's, open and she's making efforts and it's so cute. I just love for people to realize that it's not doesn't need to be a struggle or you don't need to talk about how bad and how much it's hard and all that. No.
That's why I changed it.
It's actually really fun because I've changed my season of your life. It's a season of your life. Before you know it, you're going to be married. So enjoy that season of your life.
Right.
And don't put so much, people judge themselves too much and put way too much pressure on themselves. Things aren't meant to be that hard,
But I do think what real talk though, I think what it is for me is I'm a little shy sometimes, or I can find it draining. There's some work that comes into online dating. You know what I mean? So you have to you got to just, but that's part of it to get you to where you're going. Anything in life doesn't come easy. You know what I mean? Like you have to put the work into it. And so that's kind of the part of dating that, but I agree. Like everything you said is so true. So dead, so right. It's just,
that is the formula,
What is your morning routines? Do you guys have, are you strict with your like with rituals and meditation and your journal writing? Do you do gratitude, all that kind of stuff?
Well, yeah. I mean, I typically do, but I start my day with, I like to start my mornings with putting intentions out, for the day. So it starts with putting out gratitude. So you're already in a space of, wow, I'm really appreciative of my blessings. Then I take time to visualize three important things or goals or things I want to manifest next. And then I spend the last moments just really kind of putting out just positive energy to the people I know in my life. And it's kind of just spreading love to, loving energy out to everyone. And then it only takes 15 minutes. And it's just like 15 minutes is like, boom, you wake up like, I don't know, you get out of bed and you're like, ooh, you know what? My day feels like I can take on anything. So
you do it in bed?
I do it in bed. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I get up and start making breakfast for my son and I get mom going. My mom modes right in the mornings. I am actually a nighttime. I do it at night. I take a bath and I put my Epsom salt in there and I light my candles and I get my journal and I put on my meditation music, or I go ground myself. Like yesterday, I went and walked in the woods and grounded myself, charged my crystals on the ground. And, I do things like that, but I'm more of a nighttime. The moon is what charges me. I'm a moon like the moon is just, and the forest.
What about the August 8th? What was that? The moon, what was that day? Remember?
Oh yeah, that was one of the moons. I've been so busy this month, like the last 3 full moons. I have not participated in that.
Okay. So that's not something that you do all the time.
I always hold water. So on full moons, I always put a glass of water outside and I put some of my most important crystals and I charge them with the moon. And then the next day I drink the water. I always, and I go out there and do moon chants and my neighbors probably think I'm crazy. I don't care. I do this kind of stuff. I'm doing the moon literally energizes me. And there's a crystal store I go to and they have giant crystals and I just hug them and I just hold them.
Yeah.
It just, it gives me the vibrations that I need.
So do you have crystals everywhere, all over your house?
Yeah, I love crystals. Woo, there's one right there. I love this. It's like a heart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, stones are.
I just like to touch them and hold them. They're just
because of the frequency, right? The energy in them.
Yes, and a lot of people are like, what's up? What do crystals do? It's an energy. It's just a vibration, and if you just give yourself enough, openness and willingness to observe and absorb it, you'll realize that. I think everyone should go hug a crystal or hold a crystal and just sit with it.
Or find stones that are powerful to what you need. Like my boyfriend was in a funk and he was kind of like stressed at work. And so I went and got him a sunstone and he puts it in his pocket. He rubs it when he's starting to feel like, okay, I'm stressed. And it just brings some calmness to him. And I've seen a change. And it's interesting because it's like really just a crystal, but I mean, he clearly sees a change or feels a change too, because he does it now. He brings it to work, sticks it in his pocket, and he rubs it when he's starting to feel like overwhelmed. And
I love that.
I'm always holding crystals. I'm always touching them. I'm always just there's something about it.
Yeah,
it centers me.
What do you do with your kids? How is that raising babies? Do you guys raise them with your mindset, like The Secret, like law of attraction?
Oh yeah,
my daughter's intuitive, for sure.
Yeah,
my daughter's so intuitive. Yeah,
we do.
In what way? Give me an example. How old is she?
She can feel energy and people's emotions, and she will tell you. Oh, how old is she? 6.
Oh wow.
But she, it's funny because she told me something. I can't recall what it was, but it was about how somebody was feeling. And I thought, well, gosh, how did she know that? And I said, how did you know that, sweetie? And she goes, Mom, I know everything. And when I heard her say that, it wasn't meant to be an arrogant statement. It was meant to be, she was trying to articulate, I can feel everything. Like, I just know everything. And I knew when she was born, she was intuitive. I knew right away. I could just feel her energy vibrating extremely high. But now that she can actually start to like be expressive, I'm like, oh yeah, she's very intuitive. Wow.
And then your son?
My son Maddox, he's a Cancer, and so he's very masculine. He carries a lot of masculine energy. And I'm not saying you can't be intuitive with a ton of masculine energy, but it does kind of numbs a little bit of that expression part. So I feel like he's intuitive, but he's just not good at expressing it,
Do you teach them, like in the morning, do you have a ritual with them? Because my girls have done gratitude and all those I am statements, and they have to give.
Well, no, I taught Lily how to manifest, and she actually won. She wanted an award at school. And I said, okay, well, let's manifest it. I taught her how to manifest it. She got that award like a week later or 2 weeks later, and I was like, there you go. So yes, I mean, I know for me.
Around the forest and they can take their shoes off.
Oh,
ground themselves.
Well, rocks hurt our feet. It's okay, honey. Just walk around the rock. We're trying to teach them the importance of like grounding themselves. So when
tell me about that. What is the importance of grounding?
It's really putting your feet directly, because our feet are so sensitive. It's all our nerve endings down there as well. But to touch the Mother Earth, the ground, the universal energy. There's so many electrons and like, I mean, I don't know scientific words. I'm not, but it's the vibration. It's the vibration. Yeah. It's putting the energy from the Mother Earth into and absorbing into your body. It's very grounding.
So you take your shoes off and you go out into the forest.
Yes, and it actually aligns your like electric field in your body. There's times where you could just I can just feel my electricity off of my body, or like I'm stressed, and it really goes and like aligns your your nervous system. If you think about it, we are meant to be touching the earth. We just have created, like, our ancestors, they were all barefoot, and we are meant to be touching the vibrations of the earth. And but we just don't get to with all the concrete now and our shoes,
Right.
So you'll find if you go out and if you're stressed, and go out and ground yourself in the woods, put your feet on some soil, and you will instantly feel calm. I mean, if you think about it, we're able to have this podcast. I could see you could see me, all through energy, right? So if energy can turn lights on and make cars move and make us talk, like, think about have cell phones. What can it do just to our nervous system? What can it do to our soul and our blood and our cells? And you know what I mean? It does. We got to use it.
Right.
Our power,
Right. Do you believe in like your environment, like what's on your walls, how you decorate your house, what you see in the morning? Do you have vision boards and all that? Do you believe in that?
Yes, we do. We are big into that. And even just the vibe that you keep in your house, you know what I mean? Like it's all, you adapt, you absorb. Vibrations are so key. So you got to make sure you keep. And I know, and I'm not saying anything because I'm a messy person, but I like a clean environment. I've noticed that if my environment starts getting chaotic, it creates a feeling of chaos within. So I always like to things start getting messy, because like I said, I'm messy, so it's a lot of work because I'm constantly cleaning up after myself. But I've noticed, I'm like, okay, my energy's feeling thrown off, and it's like, oh, it's the feng shui in this room. It's not, the energy is not flowing in a positive way,
Right. But you do vision boards and all that?
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't, it's interesting. I've done a lot of vision boards in my life, and I've gotten to a point now where I just I'm the type where I visualize it, see it, and then I don't fixate on it. Everything that I've ever manifested, I swear, it's not something that I manifest every day for hours. And I think it, I know it, and I get it.
Right. And just surrender, right?
This house I bought, I went through the neighborhood a couple times. I parked, I visualized as if I was coming into one of these homes, and that's it. And I got my house 2 months later.
I'm the same way. And I think, I've bought houses like that too, where I said, wait, this was my house. No one should have bought it. What are you saying? It's an escrow. Yeah. The next day he calls, oh, it fell out of escrow. Do you want to come look? Sure. Yeah. I said, this is my house. And he started laughing, and he's like, I didn't even know if I'd get approved for a loan. Nothing. I had nothing. I had zero. I really had zero. I just started a business. It was really but it worked. And they wanted me to live there. The other guy had all this money to put down and could move in. And I had another month of renting, and the people were moving to Hawaii, and they were like, we'll wait. We want her to live here. Got my loan. I mean, but I do the same thing. And I did that for another house. I did that for Richard. I just let it go. I had like I told Christina, I had a Hallmark card that I read and read and read for 5 years. And that was the first card he gave me. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it's the thinking it, the feeling it, the knowing is huge.
Let it go.
And then you just go. I don't know when he was coming. Every morning I'd sit there and read with my coffee and just picture that feeling of someone thinking I'm his soulmate, and I thought that'll come when it's time. But the forcing, even talking to Nancy about going back and dating, but just, and have fun. The energy of fun and, the excitement of it is what's going to bring it faster. But when you get so frustrated and, oh, he unswiped me. I don't even know how that works, but he erased me or, and then you go, oh, now am I fat? Does he think that, the whole thing? No. Oh my gosh, the perfect thing, but keeping your vibration up. And the knowing is part of that, I think, because when you know it and you're that confident, I know it's coming. And I'm just I'm here and I'm going to live my life and just be done, just keep going.
And this is so true with the universe. It's like a boomerang. The universe
So when you put out to the universe what you want, the universe goes, okay, let's give them more of what they want. And then when you go to the universe and you tell them all the things that you don't want and all the things you lack, the universe goes, okay, give them more of those things they don't want. Give them more of those things so they can still feel the lack of.
Yep.
Well, you can't focus. Yeah, you got to focus on the what you want and the abundance of, not the lack of.
Right.
That's where people sometimes go wrong.
And I mean, do you guys listen to Abraham Hicks?
Love her.
Yeah. So I listen to her all the time. I send those 15-minute things a lot to my clients just when they remind me. Yeah. Well, no, just her little, those YouTube or the podcast.
Yeah.
And they're short, but they definitely have a message that, and it's like the same one over. It's like, okay, we're going to be here for 4 hours and we're going to say the same thing over and over. And everybody,
you're going to get it. You're going to get it.
It's all easy. But when you think of how she's always, I mean, I've gone to her, 25 years ago, probably when she was in San Diego. She lives here. She has a house here, Esther. And, but I remember watching my journey. I think when I watched her and started following her and learning and using those tools and like The Secret, and it clicks and it just becomes a muscle. And then it's just like people will go, oh, Ashley, you're always so lucky. Oh, you always, I'm like, it has nothing to do with lucky. It's just, you have it too. We all do.
Yeah.
It's just learning and knowing that.
Mastered it. That's all it is. I mean, in the beginning, it's true. I think it takes a little bit of time to kind of get used to it and to learn how to do it. But, we have gotten so good at it that I know for me personally, I feel like I'm a master at it. I know that what I want, I just can get, and I can just make it happen. But that takes time. I think that takes that confidence building. Some people need to have a couple things come into their lives that they've manifested before they go, oh, wait a minute, this works,
Right. I do that with my girls, raising them and showing them that you can do or have anything, and then look back at your life and go, oh my gosh, look. And then they realize once you take the risk or you start wanting something that, seems a little bit harder and you go there and you did it and you're like, oh my gosh, if I did that, it's the same thing. Then I'll do that. And then the next thing comes, then I'll do that. But talk about before we wrap it up. Okay. What were you saying, Jessica?
Oh, it's all about thinking about big and don't worry about the how. You just worry about who and what and the how comes,
Yes. Oh, it's all about that. I always say it is not about the how.
Yeah.
I started this podcast. I was clueless. I mean, talk about a joke. Like I didn't even have a computer. I'm like, I really don't know how to do it, but I knew I had a why. And I knew there was something in my mind that was telling me to do it. And I just kept listening to that voice. Let's talk about intuition and how you guys use your intuition.
Yeah. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, to be honest. It's amazing because I can feel things out and I know certain things. Everyone thinks, oh, so you can, all these, lottery numbers and your whole entire life. It's like, no, it doesn't work so well with my life because I have to live it and I have to learn and grow and I have my own emotions, but it works well with, detecting where I'm going and what I'm doing and the people that I want to surround myself with and just all the different, what I mean? It helps guide me and guide others, but it's not like it doesn't tell me my whole entire life.
Right.
Well, and so what people don't understand too, in life, there's energetic patterns. And I've learned this by giving, readings for 15 years. It's like, there are some things that say, I can feel this. This is like, whether it's destined or it's fate, I feel this for you and boom, it happens. There's other things where I'm like, well, these are different paths and different choices. Like you do have things you can choose and you do have things you can manifest and create for yourself. I mean, energy is fluid. And so with intuition, when you're guiding someone, you're connecting to things, some things like you'll get strong visions and you're like, well, this is what's going to happen. And then other times it's like, okay, I can feel what's going to happen in each path, but I'm not going to make decisions for you because we do get clients sometimes that kind of want you to tell me what to do. It's like, well, I don't want to tell you what to do. It's your choice, but here's what I'm feeling on the different choices,
Right. Like the free will, right? Everyone has free will. They have they can go. I always say the yellow brick road has the Y's, if you take the right, you'll come back to the yellow brick road, or you go left, you'll come back. But it's those little choices. So when you go get a reading and people think, well, she's telling me I'm going to get this job or meet this guy. Well, yeah, that's what you see. But you could make the choice at the, swiping right or left or whatever you do to not go meet him because you're not listening to your intuition or you're not following that feeling that you should go and you're just questioning yourself or all those limiting beliefs come up. So then you made the other choice, right?
Yeah. I mean, similar to that. Yeah. And then, but then there's sometimes where I see a vision of somebody and I'm like, Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if you're swiping left or swiping right. This guy's getting brought into your life.
Yeah.
Huh. So you have pictures. You get a visual. You get pictures.
Similar to a dream state. When you recounter a dream, how you see, somebody in a dream is how I see visions.
Huh. So when we had our reading, like we get on and it's not like you prepared for me. You could have done something. Do you prepare, like meditate or clear your energy, or you just turn on the Zoom and start?
Typically not. Just I do better sometimes. I'm folding clothes and drinking coffee and not even thinking. It's like, let's go. I'm in a zone.
Huh. And when you're so when you're in the reading, you're just like, okay, you're looking at the person's energy, and it just starts to tell you a story through this, like a dream.
Like you feel it. I know that's what's so weird. So it's like just explain how you smell. You just smell, right? How do you see? I don't know. I just can see things. Like how do you hear? It's just no different. It just is a sense that comes. You just feel it.
Huh.
But it also, it is more than that too, though, because visions, like I see it. So some things I can see and visualize, and then other things like I can feel. Like, okay, I'm sensing this, and then I'm seeing, and then it becomes a vision in my mind's eye. I almost like see my visions here, almost like where my third eye is. It's like projected in front of me, but up here. But I also feel a lot of times when I'm giving my readings, it's what energy is. It's an energy. I'm feeling like an energy of a person, how they're feeling, how they're, you know what I'm saying? You can feel. It's like right here too. So I would say both of those senses. Yeah. So you feel and see. Yeah. It's like the
why did I get a reading with Christina and not Jessica? How do people pick that?
Oh, I don't know. On our website, it does say you can talk to either, because we're going to start offering readings together. It's hard for us to do that all the time because we're busy moms. So I have my own, I have clients, she has clients. So we have clients that will talk to both, and then
you share a lot of clients.
They'll try both, get different perspectives from both of us. Yeah. And it's funny because they're like, oh, I talked to your sister. She saw the same thing. And I'm like, we don't talk to each other about our clients. But so we're offering those where people can talk to both of us. That's a new, we're in the process of doing that now.
And why? Just double the power?
People love it. People want to requesting it. Everybody's requesting it.
They love the twin energy because it's double power stuff.
Right.
Blasting,
Yeah.
So like with Christina and I, so when we had our time, and so if you add it, you came in, would she say, oh, I see Ashley doing this? And then you'd go, oh, I don't really see her doing that. I see her. Is that how you think it would work? Or you both are like just giving your two?
We always, but a lot of times we see the same thing.
Yeah.
Or we'll literally, I don't think people will ask us something and then we'll go, I see this, and you'll go, oh my God, that's what I'm seeing too. And then, you know what I mean? But there are times there's times we've disagreed or we've seen a little bit of a difference. And that's where the path comes, where of choice, right? Where we're like, well, yes, but this can also play a part. This can also come into, this can happen. So we kind of, it's interesting.
Huh, fun. Where do you guys see yourself in 10 years? Living next door with your...
Yes. Yeah, I would say definitely.
Do you want to be near you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. You're on a different path now. I thought you were going to,
No, of course, but that's what I see for me, for us, living with each other, our kids, I want more babies. I want more babies.
And really to help more people. Like I want to inspire and grow and help as many people as I can. And even with you, I see you doing that. I really see your podcast growing and really build a platform to where you're going to really change a lot of lives. And so I feel like that's really where I see myself in 10 years. It's like, how many more people can I help and give my gift to, you know?
Right. And what, just be by readings? Are you going to go write books?
I want to go on tour. I think we want to do tours, still get some stadiums, any opportunity the universe wants to put our way to help more people, we're going to take them.
But I really do feel like in my truth and my manifestation is that I'm, on stage and helping and doing workshops and growing and doing seminars and helping a large group of people,
Yeah. I keep doing that. I would never say this podcast has definitely given me, or I've got to meet so many amazing people, but I always say consistency and, keep doing it. I haven't missed a week. This is like 72 episodes, right?
So cool.
And I haven't missed a week. And, you look back at my class and I don't know, I think I'm the only one. And you just realize but it's the consistency that you have, the confidence that you keep building. And then your visuals, my visualizations become bigger because of my, you just keep you just keep going. but now I'm like, okay, I'm standing on a stage. I'm having these retreats. I'm having like with kids, all these like, I keep adding to it, but I know it's because every day that's my mission. When you have that in your heart, you have that passion for something, you just keep going and, just bring it. I love it.
Have you done fulfilling? Isn't it so fulfilling to your soul too?
Oh, so it wakes me up in the morning.
Have you done like kid camps? Have you done camps with kids?
No, that's what I've been visualizing that.
That's what I see you doing it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good. Thank you.
And I think I see it in the reading too with you. I saw you doing speaking engagements.
Yeah.
People. For your career,
Yeah. Just because you're in a camp, like it's a camp setting and there's kids everywhere. It's all your cool stuff that you're doing. It's like it's big.
Oh, I love it. And I look back at how I like in high school, like I would always love like to help people, but that was always I was like the drill team captain. And I remember at the end of the year, everyone would have a song, I'd always want some like personal, like where it meant something to them, and I just look back, I was thinking about that the other day going, gosh, it's always like been in me to help people and let them see their light because I can pull it out. And when I see these kids that I'm working with and I can see it, and like by week 3, we're in this and I'm like, they start to see it. And then it's like, okay. And then we keep going and then we peel it. It's like, it lights me up and we're at the end. So we can find you both on Instagram.
Yes. Just done 0 for me.
Yeah. ChristinaManning.com.
And then your websites.
Just done.
Oh, I thought that was,
that's your website.
I'm JESSDUN. It's like the shorts of both my names. That's how you can find me on everything.
Oh, just done.
Justdone.com. Instagram.
Our Instagrams.
Yeah. It's like our first last names. Just woo,
We can find you.
Our website together is Justina, JESSTINA. We combined our names.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's the website that we're going to have. So right now, you go on justina.com and you can choose, to get a reading, either one. But that's where we're going to have our readings together. A way to get contact us. So.
Fun.
And that's probably happening in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's like we're getting ready for that.
Fun. Isn't it fun to create together?
Yeah. Yes.
And that you have a friend and your soul sister.
Yeah. Sister spirit.
Yes, love it. Well, thank you both so much. I loved it. I'm so grateful that I met you.
Yes, we are likewise. Yes.
And you will add so much value to everyone that's listening.
Same with you. You're a beautiful soul.
Thank you.